Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nascar Heat 5 Career Mode. Today we have the last episode of the regular season, and well, here is what the point standings look going into it. So Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson, the last two guys in on points. And then we have a few drivers here that are looking to get in on points because we have Timmy Hill, Michael McDowell, and AJ Allmendinger all fighting for that 30th spot, and we'll see who will get into the playoffs out of Allmendinger and Timmy Hill. Or maybe neither get through because of Michael McDowell. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here today at Daytona. There's the Coke 0400, and hopefully Timmy Hill can make it through. Well, guys, I'm thankful I'm not in the position where I have to race my way into the playoffs this season, but thank you very much for giving me such strong cars. Let's go and end this regular season with a bang. Well, there you heard myself on the radio, and yeah, we don't have to go into this race needing a win like we did last season in the 00 car, but Michael McDowell is still our rival. Ty Dillon is starting at the back with us. And our teammate, Eric Jones, is on pole today. He is in a must-win scenario, so hopefully he can race up there and do something good. But without further ado, we are ready to go racing here at Daytona. The green flag is out here for the Coke 0400. We'll see if we can go make our way up the field. I am very excited to do so, but as you can see, Timmy Hill is starting towards the back of the pack here. And of course, that is not good because he doesn't have much of a margin over Michael McDowell in getting into the playoffs, because Lord knows McDowell is going to try to push him out of that playoff spot because he's been a prick this whole career mode, and I'm sure he would try to do Timmy Hill dirty here. But early on, we have fallen back actually behind, and I decided I wanted to take this first stage pretty easy and not force the issue too early and make mistakes and damage my car or ruin other people's chances. But obviously Ty Dillon wasn't waiting much. He was trying to push me up into the fray here. But yeah, going onto the front stretch, we haven't made too much progress here, as our teammate of Eric Jones in the 44 has led the first lap here from the pole position. I decided to look for a four-wide move, but I decided to back out of that going into turn one, and then Ty Dillon took it to my outside, and we will fall back to P last. And yeah, once I got into the last position, I actually rode around behind Timmy Hill in that P-last for a bit until a couple laps later I decided to finally start making some moves and get myself some track position, because that is very important at the super speedway races, as it works like a conveyor belt. So I got to get myself through the field. Obviously, it's a lot harder than Talladega to get positions at this track because Talladega is a lot wider. There's a lot more room to take your runs, a lot more outside car lines that are going backwards. But yeah, at Daytona it's usually only 2 lanes, and sometimes you see 3. But yeah, now looking to the inside of Bubba Wallace, who's had a pretty poor season in that 23 car to start off, which is disappointing. But we do take him 3 wide with our rival of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Thankfully, I'm not next to him, and we've put Bubba next to him instead. But we do get past our rival without any trouble, thankfully, and now we get clear of Bubba, looking to the inside of Joey Gase in the 51. And now coming up to the back of Alex Bowman, who is in a position where he can point his way in if Timmy Hill goes out of the points. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. But stage 1 comes to a close here, and Eric Jones wins the first stage here at Daytona. Seems like Jonesy Boy has a little bit of speed up there. I'd love to come join him, and hopefully we can help him out in winning this race. And yeah, just like I said there, I wanted to help Eric Jones, of course, in any way I can today, if possible, to get himself that win and join us in the playoffs here. It'd be very cool to see both of the Richard Petty Motorsports cars in the playoffs. Of course, I'm going to remind you that I got my spot in the playoffs by winning earlier this season at New Hampshire, actually just only a few races ago. But yeah, our first victory there after the caution came out just as I took the white flag. So very cool to have a secure spot in the playoffs here. But stage 2 is underway here at Daytona. We'll see if we can go make up more positions this stage, as we are right next to MTJ. Still winless this season. Yes, that's right. Martin Truex Jr. is still winless. The guy who won the season title last season with, I think, 6 wins it was in total. So it's crazy to see how he's on a drought this season. He's having a bit of a championship hangover. And right now we are onto the back of Cole Custer, who won not too long ago either, to book his spot into the playoffs. And well, actually battling with the 36 of AJ Allmendinger, who might get a new ride next season. Maybe not. We'll have to find out what happens with him, because obviously he's shown that he still has the ability to win races on the road courses. So if he has better equipment on the oval type races, maybe he can go up there and make some noise, and especially those short tracks as well. But we get past him now on the inside, and yeah, we'll see what we can do to move up here in stage 2, as I'm going to cut forward a few laps and we get help from Kyle Busch getting past Kevin Harvick and Christopher Bell. And now I'll pull up onto my rival of Michael McDowell here, who is trying to put Timmy Hill out of the playoffs by finishing in that top 30 position. So we'll see if the 34 car ends up in front of the 66. And Timmy Hill's been in that spot for quite some time, but by the way they're racing right now, with McDowell getting stage points in the first stage, I'm kind of worried for the 66 of Timmy Hill if he doesn't get a move on right now in the field. But now we have cracked the top 10 here with 2 laps to go in stage 2. All over the back of Cole Custer, now going to look to the inside of him. And like I said, he a couple races ago got his first win of his career, actually. Not just the season, his career, because of course, I'm going to remind you once again, we started this career mode in the 2020 season, so everything that happened in the 2020 season in real life didn't happen in the career mode. So it's a different fantasy world, and while I'm talking about our fantasy world, we are going to be having a lot more custom paint schemes going into next season, and of course I'm going to be moving teams as well into a 5-star ride, so hopefully we'll be competitive in every race from now on. But the final lap of stage 1 is underway, and we are looking to the outside because they had such a huge run of Corey LaJoie here, but it's not going to quite be enough. Corey LaJoie's had quite a poor season so far in that 7 car, so hopefully we'll get to see him do a lot better in the next season with that new Spire number 7 car sponsored by IKEA. We'll see if they come back with a different design and sponsor. I'm pretty sure I'll do something there. And he's currently pushing Matt Benedetto, who's in the 55, who has a chance to get in the playoffs as well, as long as Timmy Hill doesn't get any points to get in the top 30. So he wants McDowell to win. But Ryan Newman wins stage 2 here at Daytona. He, of course, won the Daytona 500, and that is what booked his spot into the playoffs. So it's very interesting to see that he is back out in front here, leading this thing. So we'll see what happens here and who gets into the playoffs. And with the Benedetto's current performance, with him getting stage points in stage 1 and 2, he might overtake Bowman in points, and that'll set him out. And Timmy Hill, if he goes out, that'll put Matt Benedetto in the playoffs. But we'll see what happens there as we lose a few positions on pit road here because we took 2 tires and the AI guys took only fuel. So only 3 spots is not too bad though. So we'll see what we can do. But starting on this outside lane is going to hurt us here, as now we are currently falling back on this restart. We see our teammate of Eric Jones to our inside here in that 44 car. We'll see a new paint scheme for that car next season, as there's contact between me and Joe Logano. I try to fill a hole that was not there and caused a lot to quickly for myself to get in here. But Austin Cindric now giving me some help in that 21 car, and hopefully we can get moving forward here. Of course, Cindric won earlier this season, locked his spot into the playoffs, and he is one of those many drivers who are currently sitting in the midst of the 20s and the teens, where he just got a win and now he's just automatically into the playoffs. So we'll see what he can do in the playoffs. But of course, as many drivers have wins that are behind me in points, is actually better for me, because I could probably outperform them and actually make a playoff run, hopefully. So we'll see what we can do with this 43 Jack Daniels Chevrolet. But right now, making some contact with the Benedetto. Obviously, the car not handling very well in the middle there, and now we are still falling back, which is just not too fun at all. We'll see what we can do here, though. We have Chris Buescher right behind in that 17 car. As Chase Briscoe is just drifting up the track for no reason whatsoever. Like, hug the bottom yellow lines. He's pushing me up into Benedetto. Like, why are you doing this to me? And obviously, I don't want to make contact with the Benedettos and make a little contact with Cole Custer there in that 41 car. But thankfully, he keeps it straight, making a nice save there. And we are still stuck in this outside lane. It's crazy to see that we're still stuck here and moving backwards. So it's actually very unfortunate. Now dropping down into the 11th position. So outside of the top 10 for us now, as we now go down the back stretch here with 6 laps to go here. Now we finally are on the inside lane, though, looking to the inside of Cole Custer, and the caution comes out for an incident I could not find, by the way, so unfortunately I can't tell you what happened, but yeah, the caution came out. We'll have a restart here to the inside of Chase Elliott. From P11, we go back green flag racing for what might be the final time here at Daytona. We are going to have just 3 laps to go here in this race. We'll see what we can do, if we can go make some noise up at the front here and try and help Eric Jones win this race as well, of course. But right now, Matt DiBenedetto has the spot in the playoffs because of Alex Bowman's poor performance right now and Timmy Hill's poor performance and Michael McDowell's pretty good performance. So it's crazy to see that now he has that spot in the playoffs. And to be fair, he deserves it. That team has ran well all season. In, of course, their first season, Sony and Toyota teamed up to make this powerhouse team sponsored by their PlayStation console. And, of course, Sony themselves got their names on the car. So it'll be interesting to see if they make the playoffs here. But right now, as it stands, they do. But, of course, if William Byron has a really good performance, he could overtake both Alex Bowman and Matt DiBenedetto. There's so many things that could happen here in these last few laps here, but 2 laps to go now, trying to get to the inside of Chase Briscoe. I just muscle him out of the way based on what he did to me before, where he shoved me up the racetrack into DiBenedetto. So we get past Briscoe here, and now look to the inside of Tyler Reddick going down the backstretch. It seems like we are running out of time, though, here with a lap and a half, and Eric Jones has got himself into second place as I take Byron and Newman 3 wide here, going into turn 3, and I side because Eric Jones is going to the outside lane, and we know that you're not going to prosper anywhere on these restricted plate tracks going onto the outside lane. It's just not going to happen. And right now, Corey LaJoie has taken the white flag, so we could see another shock first-time winner here. Corey LaJoie, if he wins today, it'll not put him into the top 30, but it'll be something amazing for Spire to have going into next season, of course, as now Briscoe pushes us past Eric Jones here, so I thought the only way we can really help him out here is to make him a draft partner by going to the outside and see if he can push us here in that Plan B Sales Reese's Pieces car, but he's just not going to get to me as I now try to draft up to Corey LaJoie, but in the draft there I hit some sort of bubble. I could not get anywhere closer to Corey LaJoie than this. So Corey LaJoie is going to come off of turn 4 here at Daytona, and he is going to come across the line and win for the first time in the Cup Series. Corey LaJoie gets his first win, and he gets that win for Spire as well. Very amazing. Spire once again win at Daytona in the Coke 0400, and it's Corey LaJoie this time with his first career win. Eric Jones ends up 4th. Matt DiBenedetto in P5. That'll put him into the playoffs here, I want to announce, because Michael McDowell finished 11th and Timmy Hill finished outside the top 30. So Matt DiBenedetto joins the field here in the playoffs. So Larson ends up making it, Truex ends up making it, and of course all the winners I've showed you throughout the season so far have made it. Of course, Bowman 38th place, not too great from him. That of course will not get him a playoff spot. So we have made the playoffs here for the first time in our career. Got our first win a few races ago at New Hampshire, and a second place finish here at Daytona is a very nice bit of money, I'll tell you that. So yeah, the playoffs start in the Cup Series. I don't know who thinks I'm going to win it all, but you might be a little bit delusional, I want to say. But here is your playoff grid. Let's check it out. So Denny Hamlin leads the way. You got Kyle Busch up in here, so a multiple-time Cup Series champion. Kevin Harvick, champion. We got Logano, who's a champion. Busch is a champion. Keselowski's a champion. Truex Jr. is a 2-time champion. And then we have a bunch of guys with wins in here as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we go going into this season's playoffs, and we'll see if we can compete with the top guys in the sport. But there you have it. Byron, Bowman, Matt DiBenedetto ended up outpointing Larson, by the way. So yeah, pretty crazy to see that happen here, and Timmy Hill so agonizingly close to making it. Though it is a bittersweet ending here because we have Timmy Hill out of the playoffs, but Matty D in. It'll wrap up the regular season here in the second season of our career mode. I want to thank you guys all for watching and joining me for today's video. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, and I'll see you all at Darlington for the Southern 500.